Folks, we're coming back. Michael Chan of the ACLU is going to join us to talk about the Rosa Maria Hernandez case. And so stay tuned. We'll be back live on the radio in a moment, but just checking in with those of you on our social media. Diversary.
Esto es Make It Plain, M-I-P,
with Matsimela Matfumo.
Marcos Thompson.
Despiértate.
This from Vice News. The U.S. is illegally detaining 10-year-old Rosa Maria Hernandez. That's what an ACLU lawsuit alleges. Federal immigration officials have illegally detained an undocumented 10-year-old girl with cerebral palsy in Texas for the past 7 days, hours away from her parents. That's what the lawsuit actually is saying that the ACLU has filed, as a matter of fact. Border Patrol agents physically removed Rosa Maria Hernandez from her hospital bed as she recovered from gallbladder surgery 1 week ago, according to court filings. The agency had flagged her as undocumented when her ambulance passed through a federal checkpoint on the way to the hospital. The officers then followed her ambulance from the checkpoint to the hospital and waited for her to have surgery before taking her into federal custody. This video you're seeing now is courtesy of Vice News. You can actually see where she's been taken into custody. She had gallbladder surgery, and when her ambulance passed through a federal checkpoint on the way to the hospital, the officers then followed her ambulance from the checkpoint to the hospital and waited for her to have surgery before taking her into custody. Now, that's just as sinister as the day is long. The lawsuit filed by ACLU, the American Civil Liberties Union, against Customs and Border Protection and the Office of Refugee Resettlement in federal court claims Rosa Maria Hernandez's detention is unlawful. The Office of Refugee Resettlement is processing Hernandez as an unaccompanied minor, which requires inspecting her home, even though she's lived in Texas with her family since she was 3 months old. I've never seen a case as outrageous as this one, and I've been doing this a long time, said Michael Tan, an attorney with the ACLU. The idea that her parents would be forced to apply to get their child back is ridiculous. They shouldn't have to do this. She's their child. She should be returned to her family. Customs and Border Protection said they detained Hernandez, quote, for the welfare of the child because she wasn't with a parent or legal guardian. Her 34-year-old cousin accompanied her to the hospital. So what? While the agency has a policy against immigration enforcement at hospitals, detaining Hernandez did not violate that because the enforcement happened at the checkpoint, according to Roger Pauza with Customs and Border Protection. He said, Pauza, quote, the actions taken were in accordance with the law and carried out as humanely as possible. Hernandez's mother, Felipe de la Cruz, hasn't been able to visit her daughter since she was detained. De la Cruz is undocumented and unable to safely pass through the checkpoint between her house in Laredo and the shelter in San Antonio, more than 150 miles away. She can't do that. She can't pass through. Hernandez's father is undocumented as well, but he can pass through the checkpoint to visit her because he's already involved in deportation proceedings. Quote, when I think about her, I start to become desperate, De La Cruz said last week. She needs me the most. That's her mother speaking. Again, the video you're seeing is when Border Patrol came to get her in the hospital. 866-99-SIRIUS, 866-997-4748. What a crazy situation. Aside from recovering from gallbladder surgery, Hernandez has cerebral palsy and a developmental delay that requires constant care. Despite her family's best efforts to comfort her with her favorite foods, she has been withdrawn during visits with her family, according to Priscilla Martinez, Texas Immigration Coalition Coordinator for the Workers' Defense Action Fund, who is in close contact with the family. Defendants' forcible separation of Hernandez from her family has inflicted serious psychological and emotional injury on her. Ms. De La Cruz and her entire family, as with the sudden and forcible removal of any young child from a stable and loving environment, is what the lawsuit reads. Hernandez is scheduled to have a follow-up appointment with her physician in Laredo today. Her parents are hopeful that she will be released to them by then. The ACLU having filed this suit. What are your reactions, ladies and gentlemen, to this this terrible situation? Again, that article courtesy of Vice and this video you're seeing on our social media, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, make it plain. Okay, we are. Then my mic is on. Yeah, my mic is on now. I know, but people can hear you. We were going to be joined by Michael Tan of the ACLU, but we're not able to reach him right now. So perhaps he'll join us before the end of the hour. But I want to get your reactions to this, if you don't mind. Please, ma'am. Please, sir. 866-99-SIRIUS, 866-997-4748. Paul's in Florida. Paul, God bless you. Good morning. Get ready for impeachment.
Good morning, Mark.
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, you're on there. Go right ahead.
Yes. What I mentioned to the intake is that I've been here almost 37 years as an immigrant. And the thing that struck me the most about the culture of hate against race and nationality and assigning differences and values to people based on that. And I find that very disturbing. What's happening to this child right now is just systematic and is indicative of how people as a whole, as a nation, place value on their either national origin or the tone of their skin. And I can't understand that.
Where are you from? Where'd you come from?
I'm from Lebanon.
Mm-hmm.
So where I grew up, we never said, well, there's this black man or white man. Well, there's so-and-so. So when you put a title that's defining somebody already by the color of their skin or their nationality, that's already setting the stage, in my opinion, to perform acts of aggression or acts of discrimination.
Most certainly. And that's what's happening. People are victimized by acts of aggression and discrimination in these cases. Absolutely. Absolutely. And this is, this case is glaring. Mm-hmm. This child has had surgery. She's in recovery. She has cerebral palsy. Come on.
Yeah,
that's not how you treat a child. But this is emblematic of the culture which you describe here in America accurately, and is emblematic of the Trump administration that is trying to promote and protect and defend that racist culture.
Right.
And if you don't mind, just to build on your point, acts of aggression. So when you see what happened in Lower Manhattan with Saipov, am I pronouncing his name right? How you say it? Saipov, whatever it is. The Uzbeki and the terrorist attack. And when the police apprehend him, he says, Allahu Akbar, and all of that. See, people who were either radicalized over the internet or self-radicalized or internet radicalized, whatever you want to call it, play into that because groups like ISIS want there to be a holy war, which is equivalent to a race war, if you will. They want that because they want to make the West look bad, and they really want to expose it for what it is. But that's not the answer either, to attract that. We have to figure out a way to coexist with peace and harmony and not make innocent people suffer. There was no cause for those people on that bike path to be killed, for those kids on their school bus to be injured, for somebody to say Allahu Akbar. That is not representative of Islam. And it plays directly, it makes it harder for everybody else who's Muslim, because now everybody's looking at Muslims sideways and funny, like you said, committing acts of aggression because of what this one nut job did.
Correct. And this is nothing new. Even before ISIS and Al-Qaeda came into existence, the pressure on the part of somebody who had nothing better to do than to gather around them a group of young men and, as you say, radicalize them. Well, in effect, they're brainwashing them to serve a purpose. And that purpose has nothing to do with religion. It has to do with just their own desire to be powerful and to have some impact. Just like Trump is doing, you know, I'll say something maybe that will be odd, but I don't consider Trump a racist because I don't think he cares about anybody else but him. When it really comes down to it, he'll ditch his family, his wife, and his kids if it means saving his skin.
Yeah.
So I don't believe he cares about human as we care about them. That's why his actions are simply to use and puppetize these different groups to serve his purpose.
Well, I don't know if I agree with you. I think you can be a narcissist and still a racist. In fact, I think narcissism is an inherent trait of racism because you feel supreme and only you matter. And so when people look like you come around, you feel the same way.
Correct. And that's really all I wanted to say. I appreciate it.
All right, man. Thank you. Are you Muslim, brother?
I was actually. I'm Catholic now.
You're Catholic. Okay. I was going to give you the greeting. Okay. Thank you, man.
All right.
God bless you.
Bye-bye.
All right. So, folks, this is a case of Rosa Maria Hernandez. She will, I believe, see the doctor today for a follow-up. Hopefully then she'll be released. But kudos to the ACLU for getting involved in this case and intervening on her behalf. See, we've kept looking for that one thing Trump does, diversity, but it's all the little things together that add up, including what they're doing to this young woman. It's totally inappropriate.